We're back. We're back. All right. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. What a season so far, folks. We did get in the weeds a little bit, not just in this podcast, but in this Beverly Hills episode. This is episode 4, season 12, and it's called The Crystal Conundrum. And I shit you not, this sounds like a Star Trek title of like The Trouble with Tribbles. What is going on with Mr. Spock? The crystal conundrum. So if I was a betting man, and I am, I would say this has to do with something with Crystal, who's on the cast, and something, there's a conundrum, there's a mystery with Crystal. So I was like, oh my God, is this going to be about like board games? Are we going to play conundrum? Like, is there some kind of board game we're playing? I was way wrong. It turns out Crystal's just potentially a problem for the other cast members. Also, I wanted to give a huge shout out to Juliana Carraza. I always say your last name wrong. I said it right the first time, and now I'm Julie. But Juliana, she sent me, you guys, today a transcription of this show, and it helped me out so much. Like, so I was able to go through, make my notes on top of her notes. What if it was like, she did this and now I'm going to start. And what I was like, she wrote it in a different language. No, it was so nice. It was so awesome because these things really do take a lot of time. So I was able to watch it, get even more insight. It's more insight to even just blow you off your coal mining asses, you guys. So we get the intro, and it was like, previously on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And that's always like the multitude of scenes that we've seen so far this season. And we have Sutton going, well, on a path to friendship, Sutton, and they're getting over their issues from last year. And then Sutton, we have a scene to Kyle going, there's a Parisian coming in town. I'll say to be at the Sutton store. I want to call it a Parisian in LA. And then we have a scene of Erica de Garcelle saying, I'm never going to get away from stupid plane crash victims, even though it's not true. And I made a note here. I was like, how I always say two things can be true at once. Erica can be telling the truth and not actually have anything to do with this, yet somehow still manages to be an asshole. And that, my friends, that's true talent. We also have the break-in, the Dorit's break-in of like, I thought I was going to die. And then we cut to Kyle, who's crying about Sutton, crying about Dorit to Sutton. You remember, like, Kyle cries harder than any of the other castmates, especially when something happens to the castmate. Kyle will cry for them. Kyle weeps for you, folks. And, Son's like, well, I'll say, I'm putting out fires too. I've got immigration, not letting my Parisian in the US of A. And then we cut to the La Quinta house from last week. Sutton telling Kyle, come on, Kyle, I was empathetic. I'll say. And then Crystal going, it's inappropriate to tell someone that their feelings are wrong. And then Crystal's like, yeah, you guys policed my feelings last year and made me feel irrelevant. And Dorit was like, are you out of your fucking mind? Dorit's usually like, are you out of your fucking mind? But she like broke free of the accent. She's like, are you out of your fucking mind? Are you fucking kidding me? That did not happen. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me, Crystal? I want to take you toe to toe, Thunderdome, you and me, Dorit and you in the octagon. I'll take you all right now, Crystal. And Crystal last week was like, I'm leaving. This is not a safe space. It's not a safe space. So then we go into the taglines. We get taglines this week. Remember last week we didn't have them. Just I always watch these and a couple different thoughts will go through my head. Diana's, once again, it just kind of makes me laugh because it's like, they said to get rich, but then you get richer. Like, it's basically saying like, it's good to have a lot, but it's even better to have more than a lot. Like, it's just, what's that old saying? It's awesome to be rich. And I love Sutton's because Sutton's like, you best mind your manners. I'll say. She gets real Southern in her tagline. And then Erica's, it feels rushed and it feels pompous, just like Erica. She's like, I've got nothing to hide and nothing to lose. And that makes me dangerous. And I'm like, no, it makes you poor and it makes you lame. It, like there's a difference. So we start off with a scene at Kyle's house where we left off last week, her desert house in La Quinta. And she is making breakfast. We see eggs and she's ordering alcoholic drinks it's 9:41 a.m. And we see the eggs and Erica's in a big pink moo and she's like, I need drinks. I need drinks. And so she orders it over the phone, this is what I was saying earlier, is that like, wait, Kyle, you're in a house. You could stock champagne and Bloody Mary stuff. And like, who are you ordering from at 9:41 in the morning? This isn't a hotel. This is like, I mean, you're on PGA West. I know this place because of Coachella. Where are you specifically ordering from? Like, is it Ralph's? Like, who are you ordering from? So, Kyle's like, hi, Miguel. It's Kyle Umansky. How are you? And Erica's like, please, Bloody Marys, please, I'm dying. And she's like, we need 4 Bloody Marys, 2 mimosas. It's a 911 situation. And Kyle, it's not a 911 situation. Like you didn't have your drinks, and that's sad, but not necessarily a nine. And I think we'll deal with this at a different time, Kyle. I want you to know, I want to test out 911 situations. It's like, okay, Dorit gets burglarized. 911. She's like, I think it is. No, it is. But then I'm like, you don't have bread for sandwiches. 911. Let's call them. It's a 911. So we are out on Kyle's patio enjoying. We got the old, Rinna, the Erica, the Garcelle, the Dorit. And Dorit's like, I didn't sleep a wink last night. Beep, boop, bop, beep, boop, boop, boop. And Garcelle's like, why didn't you call? Why didn't you knock on a door? And Dorit's like, that is so selfish. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Dorit in a talking head goes, every time I close my eyes, there's a lot of things going on in my head, anxieties and fears. All I want is to be able to feel a little more like me so I can put it behind me. Pre-home invasion. She labels it pre-home invasion. So hopefully we'll get to the post-home invasion soon. Lisa goes, Dorit, you should talk to my mom. And Erica points to Rinna. Oh, yeah, she didn't even know. She didn't even know when she was doing. Rinna goes, I didn't even know until I was 18. And we go back in time in a flashback to Rinna's mom, Lois, lovely, lovely woman. And, talking about the tragic attack by a man who turned out to be a serial killer, you guys. And Rinna's like, Dorit's trauma was on the same level of violation, and Lois lived through it. So Rinna's trying to make the point that Dorit also can be a survivor, just like Lois. And in that scene, Lois is like, you shouldn't be here, Rinna. I shouldn't be here. And I just think that is, that's the serial killer. I had a phase where I was reading all like serial killer books when I was in like, I don't know, it was like after college, I was reading these John Douglas books, and it was like Journey into Darkness. John Douglas is the guy that created the FBI behavioral unit program. And they made Mindhunter about him. And those books would scare the bejesus out of me. And like, I couldn't stop reading them. I remember living in Los Angeles, like right out of college, reading one of these books. And I was next to my ex. She had already been asleep. And I remember just being scared out of my mind, like scared out of my mind, to the point where like if my ex had woken up, I'd be like, could you protect me, please? But I would just keep reading. I was just very always harmful to myself. So Garcelle asks Kyle about Sutton, and Kyle is like, well, she's having breakfast with Crystal and Diana over there. And Erica says, so they're not coming here? And Garcelle says, yeah, no, I talked to Crystal, and Crystal said she just wanted to go home because it ended very poorly last week. We all saw it. We break to that previous scene where Crystal was trying to explain her feelings. She's like, well, this isn't relevant to any of you ladies. And Dorit's like, that's not true. And Crystal is like, it is true. Get real. And Kyle says, now we're back out in the flashback. Kyle says, there has to be something more to this for her to have that reaction. And Garcelle goes, what would be her trigger? And Kyle says, maybe she felt like we were caring more about Dorit than we cared about how she felt last year, even though they are apples and oranges, which we're not supposed to keep doing the apples and oranges thing. And Erica fucking, So Erica, Miss grad student goes, my interpretation that you didn't ask for, Crystal came in to defend something. She's allowed to feel that way. You guys didn't validate my feelings. I don't know if that's right. I love that Erica is breaking it all down. It's like, yeah, okay, you're wrong pretty much about everything and have been for a couple seasons now, but please let me know what you think. And she goes, I don't know if that's it, but it's just my guess. And Kyle's like, huh, we're like detectives right now. And she's kind of being jokey, Kyle. Kyle runs to the door, gets the Bloody Marys from the Bloody Mary fairy, as they deem him. And Garcelle says, I wish I had a Bloody Mary fairy. And Garcelle calls Crystal on the phone because they all say, call her, call her. And she goes, are you going to come by and just maybe talk with everyone here? And Erica takes a big gulp of her Bloody Mary. She's like, yum, yum, yum. We cut to La Quinta, the hotels, and we see Crystal going, yeah, Garcelle, I'm really great. And Garcelle's like, do you want to come talk to everybody here? And she's like, not particularly. And Garcelle's like, everyone is worried about what triggered you. And Crystal's like, so they don't know what triggered me? And Garcelle's like, no. And Kyle at this point is literally has moved so close to Garcelle, who's in the other room trying to spy. Kyle, you got to make it a little less obvious about your shit stirring and your eavesdropping and stuff like. I get it. It's all exciting. You got to play the long game, though. We're on to you. The cameras are on to you. You got to watch it. You want to keep middle ground, and you're not. It's like you're losing some credibility this season. And I know a lot of you guys out there like, oh, she already lost credibility long ago. But no, I believe in Kyle. She's just got to chill. So all the ladies are like, shh, shh, oh, we all want to hear, Render's like, I don't want to hear. And Garcelle, by the way, during this, Erica's sitting next to Rinna, and Erica's like wiping her fingers on Rinna's robe that she's wearing because there aren't any napkins. And, Erica's like, well, this is rude. And Rinna's like, there's nothing rude about it. Why do whatever you want? And then Garcelle says, okay, you guys, Crystal's coming over. So we can all make sure she's okay. She's going to stop by for 10 minutes. And everybody's like, oh, yay, yay, oh, yay. Which is like, no, nobody's like, oh, yay. Everybody's like, yay. By the way, Bambi, the dog that steals all the food, is there. Bambi barks. And Erica goes, no, Bambi, we aren't giving you the ball. And it's like, Erica, shut the fuck up. Like, we'll give Bambi. Bambi's a dog. Those dogs deserve balls. They're not in charge of what they eat. They're not in charge of, Bambi a little more so is actually because Bambi just steals food off plates because Bambi wasn't trained, I guess. But Bambi deserves a ball throw. And Erica, how dare you, Erica? That's like saying, we're not going to let you have any new clothes, Erica. Like, well, no, actually, I don't think you deserve. But you know what I'm saying? Like, Bambi deserves the ball. And Erica, you wouldn't be the one deciding if Bambi gets the ball or not. That's Kyle's dog. That's Mauricio's dog. They get to decide if maybe I'm being nitpicky. So the ladies reminisce. They're like, it's been 1 year since we were here last time. And Kyle's like, 1 year ago, we were all sitting on that sofa. Erica, I feel like you're night and day. And Erica's like, my life was in shambles. I hate that sofa. I feel like it's not a day. When I was here, it was so crushing. And I'm so glad we moved past all our shit. And Rinna goes, time heals. Time heals. And Erica goes like, I'd also like to thank you guys for accepting me for the wild animal that I was. Okay. Does Erica need a rabies shot? What are we doing? What are we doing here? Like, what are we like? Hey guys, sorry about all that stuff I caused last night. Sorry about being an asshole. And also, like, night and day, I feel like Erica's pretty much the same, just kind of grosser. Like, just kind of like, I want to get dicks in my VJ. I want to get whipped. I want to have sex with bad people and good people and sort of okay people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's just more raunchy. I don't. Have you guys seen a big difference in Erica? I feel like, if anything, it's gotten worse. Like, I feel like your night and day is like, was night how she was last year and day just like completely worse? Is that what I don't know. So we break the scene to a montage of last year, Erica saying all her nasty comments to Sutton, like, oh, what? Oh, what? Oh, what? Let me tell a fucking song. Erica's like, remember that scene last season of like, miss all around town fucking about my fucking reputation, this and that. And Sutton's like, well, I'll say, don't talk to me like that. Oh, what? Oh, what? And Erica goes, I was backed into a corner every fucking day. Erica in the talking head says, when you go through something like this, that's all encompassing. It's where you live, your marriage, your finances, trying to protect yourself. And then you finally get over the bridge a little bit. You can go, and catch your breath a little bit. I'm far from done, but I can at least catch my breath now. Erica says, 12 months now, I've been dragged through the mud for something that I didn't do. Never happened. Didn't do it, never happened, or two separate. It happened, Erica. It happened. I don't know, And Garcelle says, well, I think one of the reasons, though, is that you didn't show any compassion to the victims. You didn't say like, oh, my God, I hope this really didn't happen. And Kyle makes a face like, zoinks. And Erica goes, well, I really hoped it didn't. And Garcelle says, I know, but you didn't say that. But I can't. And Garcelle says, why can't you say that? And then she goes, no. She literally goes, no. Not when you're in a legal situation like that. Every word counts. We're not even sure. This is amazing. We're not even sure that there are people that weren't paid. Kyle looks off into the distance like, oh, fuck, with like a disbelieving, leery look. Rinna, even like, what? Like, hey, Erica, real quick, gotta see you in the other room. That was weird. Like even like Erica's losing that much. I just want to point out the insanity of what she just said. She said, I can't say that I hope the victims are made whole because in a legal situation, every word counts. But what I will say is that I believe some of these victims were paid off. It's what I will. But you know what I will say, what I'm comfortable saying is that these people deserved. It's like, come the fuck on. Like, you can't. She's like, there's a bigger conspiracy here. The Illuminati are involved. That's all I'm going to say. I can't say, when you're dealing with the Illuminati, you can't say much, man. What I will say is that they and Kyle goes, so you're saying that we don't know for a fact that these people weren't paid, these accident victims? And Erica goes, that's exactly right. And Tariq goes, you mean there's a chance they could be lying? And Erica goes, yeah, there's a chance they could be lying. And Garcelle goes, no way. And Erica goes, yeah way. Erica's not really good with like, what is it, language? So she's like, Garcelle's like, no way. She's like, yeah way. She's kind of like Wayne and Garth from Wayne's World, like, party on, Wayne. Party on, Erica. But I just think this is real balls. And I know we're laughing about it, but I want to take a moment in all seriousness to say this is really shitty. Like, it's really shitty. And I know if any of these victims that have lost their families and also lost the money that was promised to them because of somebody that they trusted, their lawyer, if they, somebody has to first off explain who Erica Jane is, and then they tune in, or maybe even accidentally tune in, or maybe one of their friends tell them about it. Like, oh, you were kind of alluded to last night that you're a fucking liar. It's horrible. It's horrible. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, what? I mean, wait, shut up. Like, why can't you shut up? What do you get from any of this at this point? Like, how much are you getting paid by Beverly Hills? Like, was Beverly Hills like, Erica, we want you back, but we can't have you be compassionate at all. You've got to be the color of Lisa Rinna's asshole. You got to be dark. We just need you to be abhorrent. We really got to, we thought people disliked you last season. We got to go farther. Can you do it?
I can do it. I'd like to keep Mikey on staff, so I'll do what it takes. I don't want Mikey out on the street.
So Garcelle on the talking head says, these victims are regular people. Why would they be coming after Tom? Why would all these lawsuits come after and come about if they were paid? They would just go live their lives. Well, Garcelle actually speaking with sense. That's interesting. So Garcelle's saying, why would these people sue if they've already been paid off? And Eric goes, we don't have all the facts. We don't have all the facts. That's why I keep saying this isn't wrapped up. It doesn't matter what someone claims. And Garcelle on the talking head says, it also snows in Pasadena. Garcelle, man, damn. So, Erica's like, you can allege anything in a lawsuit. And Rena goes, and you can sue for anything. Which shout out to Patrick, the PR guy from tonight. Erica in a talking head goes, there was a period when I walked past the tabloids. I saw my face multiple times and I thought, these bad stories are sticking. Why? Because the people want them to be true. Most people don't know an inkling of the truth. They don't want to know the truth. All they want is for Erica to fail. And that is not happening. Ever. And I don't care who likes me or who doesn't. This, my friends, is a narcissist. The only reason we're thinking about you is because you don't think about them. That's it. I'm not cared that you succeeded up to this point. I wasn't like 4 seasons ago when you were I wasn't like, she doesn't deserve any of that. We care because you need to care about these other people and you don't, and you make it worse. And you kind of think that like, I'm the earth and everybody orbits around me, Erica Jane. And that's just not, it's just not the way it goes. Like, it's just kind of horrible. And that's why, so it's like, to me, you've already failed, you already did fail. So it did happen. But I feel like you are treating this like a personal, like it's my Rocky story. It's like my defeating the giant. And it's like, girl, you don't realize you are the giant. You don't realize, like, this doesn't take away your shine if you admit that somebody you were involved with was bad. If you didn't have anything to do with this, you're okay. But you're not okay if you don't show compassion. You're just not. You're too close to this. I hope you understand, but I hope but you don't. You don't understand. Maybe you understand in your personal life or in your deepest, darkest, most secret moments with Mikey and Leia, your assistant. But to us, you just come off as bitter and old and sad and angry. And it makes me really feel even worse for the victims. You could have been one of these victims. Like, we could have felt just as bad for you. You could have been taken. He promised me the moon. But instead, it's all this fighting, this guy. You can't even admit that he funneled $25 million through EJ Global, which paid for your career. Yo, it happened. Doesn't mean it's your fault. But all of a sudden, don't act like you all of a sudden weren't using that money. Oh, no. I was not using that money. That was money I would never use. I asked to shop at Old Navy. No, never. Anyways, you guys know what I'm saying. Erica says, I can't admit to something I don't know happened. The best way I can serve those who have been rightfully wronged is to roll up my sleeves and to comply, which is what I've done. And Rena's like, yeah. She's like head bobbing like a bob. He's like, roll up my sleeves and go back out there on the road and sell out stadiums and give them another, like, roll up your sleeves and comply. Is it like roll up your sleeves, comply, and also cast doubt about the victims? That's also a part of that's the best you can do. Shut up. Crystal arrives finally to Kyle's house. Rinna goes, Crystal's here. Crystal's here. They're like, oh, hey, there she is. Hey, oh my God. And Crystal goes, hey guys. And Erica goes,
There she is, the lady of the hour, the lady of the hour.
Garcelle goes, I'm tipsy. I can say it. And Erica goes,
I'm lit.
remember when she did that last, it was like the first episode of last season where when she put Kyle's weed lotion on her vagina and she goes,
I'm lit right now.
which is just weird to go, hey ladies, I know we're here at this lady event with cameras here, but I slathered a bunch of CBD oil all over my pushy, as Courtney says, and I feel lit. And here she goes again. She goes,
I'm lit.
and she's sucking on the straw from the Bloody Mary fairy. And Crystal's like, yeah, Sutton and Diana are going to drive straight back to LA after brunch. We cut to the hotel where Diana's walking over to Sutton's room for brunch. Sutton's like, hey, how you doing? I'll say, what's going on, Diana? What's going on, mama? And Sutton's like, I'll say, do you want something to eat? And Diana's like, wow, look at all of this. So unexpected. You're so fancy. And you guys, there is a spread for two people that looks like it's Heather Dubrow, first episode of OC spread, like 35. It's like we got salmon for lox and like everything so laid out. And Son's like, I got all these containers to go, and it's just a lot of food. And Sutton goes, oh, I got to tell you, I'm eating bacon. I keep eating bacon. I'll say, I haven't eaten meat in so long, but there's something about bacon that I cannot resist. And then Sutton's like, I'll say, pigs are really smart and sweet like me, as she fills her plate with bacon. And Diana in her talking head goes, bacon eating vegetarian is not a thing. It doesn't exist. Diana says, so last night, Sutton, what happened? And I was like, wait, is Crystal Dorit? And Sutton goes, well, I was like, what just happened? Because it sort of came out of nowhere in the corner. And Diana goes, everyone has a different trigger. And Sutton's like, what triggers you, Diana? And Diana's like, well, like somebody making fun of my accent. Like that goes back to people laughing at me. I get it, but come on. And Sutton's like, it's really low. It's low. And Diana's like, yeah, when they say like stupid stuff about my country, and I go like, well, can you point it in a map? Well, who's stupid here? I do want to point out two things. I'm dumb as fuck. First off, so you don't have to, but if for anybody new listening. Secondly, I don't feel like I'm making fun of her accent. I'm not making fun of, like, these are just like the easiest ways I can do to explain what I'm hearing. I hope you can. I really like both of these ladies. Well, I'm saying that I love Diana and I love Sutton, but these are, I'm not making fun of her. Because also both of these ladies are so much more accomplished and just better than me, period. Like just better than me all the way around. So let me do my voices, So, and also I do want to point out, I can't point out shit on a map. In fact, I can prove, I've told multiple friends that I want to learn geography because I do not know geography to save my life. In fact, if there's a geography for dumb or geography for Ryan book, would love that. And so Diana's like, Sutton goes, oh, I don't mind confrontation. I just don't like screaming. And Diana goes, I grew up in Bosnia. Unless you shout, nobody hears you. I used to be so aggressive, like scary, like really scary, like the Hulk. I turn into Diana Hulk. And Sutton's like, because of where you came from? And Sutton's like, because of where you came from? Diana's like, yes. And then I realized what you're doing. Give everyone one chance. Diana in a talking head says, coming from somebody that grew up in Sarajevo ghetto, I used to be very angry with the world, very explosive. I tried to develop empathy, but at the same time, you don't get multiple chances with me because first time, shame on you. Second time, I say shame on me. I don't like that. My wife. He just keeps rhyming like there's like a Borat element to this. Son goes, I say with these women, you're going to have to give them more than one chance. And Diana goes, I give them three. And so it's like, I think maybe several chances. I need the ride or die because sometimes we just mess up sometimes. I'll say. So scene pulls away with their laughter. We're back at Kyle's house. Rena goes, Crystal, let's talk about how you felt and how you're feeling. And Crystal goes, well, I feel like I'm in some weird like therapy commune. And Erica goes,
None of us are licensed.
and Rena goes, no, we want to understand, Crystal. And Drake goes, we don't want you to feel like you weren't heard last night, which is like, how would she not feel? I mean, she literally said, you're not hearing me. And Crystal goes, I want to be clear. I want to get through this conversation today. And then I don't want to talk about it again. The thing that triggered me was I actually don't. And then she pauses. She starts holding back tears. And Dorit's like, take your time, my darling. And we see Dorit eating food, but Bambi's like right in front of her. Bambi's like, Dorit, look at me. Dorit, it's me, Bambi. Look at me. Look at me. Can I have some mango? Please, Dorit, look at Dorit. It's me, Bambi, Kyle's dog. I work for the agency. Can I have some mango, please, Dorit? I'm only going to ask you one more time, and then I'm going for that plate. And then Crystal's like, what was upsetting to me last night was, when I was struggling last year with Sutton and I was telling you how I felt there was a massive campaign to negate how I was feeling. And we cut back to that scene from last year. And, where Garcelle's like, to me, violation of privacy has to be intentional. And Erica was like,
Exactly. That's the truth.
and Sutton's like, I'll say violation is a strong word. And Crystal's like, it's not. And Rena's like, violation's a big word. And Crystal back now says, it's not easy just to pour my heart out to you guys when all I'm being told is a word I'm using is too strong. The focus shifted to something that's really not the focus. So what triggered me is that I've been holding on to that. And Garcelle says, you said I don't feel safe last night. What does that mean? And Crystal goes, yeah, my emotions in this group. That's how I felt last year. That's why I shut down a lot. And Kyle goes, well, this doesn't feel like a safe space to you. And which, by the way, Kyle, it doesn't even feel like a safe space to me. How would it feel like a safe space? Like Crystal. Crystal goes, I'm trying, I'm trying. Dorit and I'm talking to goes, saying something like, I don't feel like I'm in a safe space just because a group of adult women who are potentially horrible don't agree with you. And then she goes, sweetheart, this is a vacation compared to what I went through. Beep, boop, beep, boop, boop, boop. Like Dorit is full on like Rambo. Like Dorit has taken a dark turn because of the situation that happened with her. And, she's just like, fuck everybody else. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Call me when you've had a gun put to your head. Crystal says, well, because of everybody's reaction, I chose to. Meanwhile, by the way, Bambi shoving her head in a bowl, just like a tray of cheese, just chomping down. And Garcelle's, my God, this dog is fucking vicious, Garcelle says. She's like, I'm sorry. And they do a montage of Bambi stealing food off the plate and off the kitchen counter, or like a whole Bambi food stealing montage. And Rena goes, she's relentless. I like her. Kyle says, I'm really sorry if I made you feel like you're not heard. I always think I'm a fixer, trying to patch things up. So Garcelle interrupts and goes, a fixer and a stirrer. Like Garcelle is on one this season. I love it. Kyle says, no, I actually try to fix things. Everyone goes, half and half. She does that like Rinna sometimes, like I do obviously a voice that doesn't sound anything like Rinna, but sometimes Rinna will do, it's like it's a stroke voice. Where you lose all power on this side of your face. And it's kind of like Bill Murray and Caddyshack. And she's like, half and half, half and half, half and half. I wish you could see you actually can see my face. It's on YouTube. I'm doing, she's having half and half, half and half. She does like stroke voice sometimes. And Kyle goes, trust me, I actually do fix things. I love that. Trust me. I am amazing, you guys. Trust me. Garcelle in the talking head says, this is my idea of Kyle fixing. And she proceeds to demonstrate stirring a pot with her hands going round and round. She's like, need I say more? Kyle must be fuming every time she watches the cuts of these. She's like, fuck Garcelle. Kyle says, okay, I'm going to ask you a favor. Crystal, can you just not wait 1 year to hold on to something that's bothering you that much? And Crystal goes, for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Garcelle says, can I say if I'm going to be 100% honest? And that's always, you guys, a line that you got to, when anybody says, if I'm going to be 100% honest, I'm like leaning in. I'm like, yeah, I'm Lisa. Yeah, did I hear honest? And Garcelle goes, I've been holding on to this and I know what I'm about to say may be explosive. And Kyle goes, uh-oh. And Crystal goes, oh God. And Garcelle goes, I feel that when you and Sutton had your thing, and then we cut back to that scene last year, like, are you one of those people that you don't see color? Tell me that you're one of those people that don't see color. Garcelle says, I felt like no matter what she said, you could have said, the sky is blue, and you were going to say, are you that girl? I just felt like it was a setup. So that's what Garcelle says about Crystal. Now, this blew me away because I thought Garcelle and Crystal had a solid relationship, but this was wild. Dorit and Rinna's faces, you guys, are like, beep, boop, bobby, boop, boop, boop. And Rinna's like, Crystal goes, well, now that you know me, do you still think it was a setup? And Garcelle goes, I don't know. And Crystal goes, oh, okay. Garcelle doesn't fuck around, you guys. So Crystal in the talking head goes, I'm totally blindsided by Garcelle's comment. Based on my entire personality that you've known for the last 2 years, that's something that I would do. It's so out of line and so out of my character. Crystal says to Garcelle, you weren't there. And Garcelle goes, no, I wasn't. Crystal to Kyle goes, you were there. And there's a lot more said prior to that that was very dark. We now say the word dark the first time in this episode. The camera pans to Dorit and Erica with incredulous and shocked expressions. And Erica's mouth is like, oh, Erica's mouth is like catching flies, like literally like flies, like into Erica's mouth. And like you can like Erica and Rinna's nipples are like ice, like just hard. They can cut glass at this point. They're so turned on by this because they're like, did somebody say something bad about Sutton? And they're like, fuck Sutton in the ass. And Rinna goes, oh wow. And Erica goes, do you know? I wish we would have known that. I'm sure you do, Erica. And Rinna and talking head goes, if that's your friend that you're standing up for, why would you then just say that she said some other things that were really dark and really bad? I would be pissed if I were Sutton. Rinna already calculated in her mind if this could be her storyline. She's like, hey, if I could talk to, I could do a scene with Sutton writing out Crystal, but then I could do a scene with Erica. It all adds up. And Crystal goes, it was the very first time I had spoken to Sutton. Kyle goes, in Tahoe at the bar. And Chris goes, you were there. And Kyle goes, I know, but I don't remember the part you're talking about. And Chris goes, well, you probably blocked it out of your head. You were drunk. Kyle makes this cringy like, what? Kyle goes, I do remember that conversation with Sutton. She's not here to claim that she said something dark and I don't. And Crystal goes, okay, we're not going there. We're not going to bring it up. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm not going to tell you what Sutton said. Garcelle's phone rings and it's her son calling and she walks away to answer it. And she's like, oh my God, Oliver, your hair looks crazy. And Erica goes, can I ask now that we brought it up, Crystal, what is it? Can I just ask? And Crystal goes, no. And Erica goes, no, you're not going to say it? And Crystal goes, nope. My husband directed The Lion King. I don't have to say it. And Erica in a talking head goes, when you say, I don't want to say what it is, you allow the person you just told to fill in the blanks with the worst possible shit ever. If you sat back and don't fucking bring it up at all. Erica, once again, say it with me, folks, at home. Kick the kids out of the car. Shut the fuck up. Like, Erica, do you realize how many times last season you were like, I'm not going to say anything, just that I'm not guilty. That's it. That's all. Slam. Garcelle on the phone to her son goes, okay, well, I'll tell the girls. And Garcelle's like, that was my son, Oliver. And Dorit's like, is everything okay? And Garcelle goes, yeah, everything's great. He just got a great job working for somebody you know. And Dorit's like, who, PK? Did PK hire him to rob me? Oh, I'm so sorry. That's horrible. And Garcelle says, Lisa Vanderpump. And Rinna screams, what? It was like holy water being thrown on Rinna. She's like sun's evaporating her. Erica goes, and Kyle is like just Kyle has a look of contempt. And Dorit goes to Garcelle.
Garcelle, the best way home. I'll send you stuff. Just walk through there, up the mountain.
And Erica goes,
I'm gonna up my Lexapro.
okay. And Rinna just acts like falls dead on the floor. And then Bambi eats Lisa Rinna, the dog. Kyle is silent, but looking kind of sneery, like, ugh. And Rinna screams, on that note, let's go home, everybody. And Erica goes,
Los Angeles, where we belong.
we don't want you here, Erica. You know, we're back in Beverly Hills at Dorit and PK's house. And PK's like, baby, can you get me a Diet Coke, honey? And Dorit's like, how many Diet Cokes have you had today? And PK's like, I've had 2, which I'm like, 2? I have like 6 or 7. Dorit's like, do you think you can switch 1 Diet Coke, 1 water? And PK goes, well, I don't like water as much as Diet Coke, but yeah, we can do that. I told you, my new view on life with you is 2 words. Buka de Bep. No, 2 words. Yes, darling. Dorit in a talking head says, PK has diabetes, yet he refuses to change his lifestyle. It's just stress on top of stress. And with what I'm going through, Dorit goes, you've been very, very, very supportive, my love. You really have. And PK goes, well, I hope so. I do care what you're leaving inside, though, Dorit. And Dorit goes, PK, I've been holding it together, but I know when I leave this house, there's something inside me. There's an anxiety. It's like my reactions are not the way they used to be. They're still big, but they used to be bigger. And Dorit in the talking head goes, right now, my new normal is palpitating anxiety and navigating triggers. My kids come in my room every night. They always have now that sound of the door opening. And I'll take a deep breath. I almost can't catch my breath. And Dorit goes, I don't know what I'm going to feel at any given moment. I want to process this, beep, boop, bop, beep, boop, 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 and I want to get into a place where I can put it behind me. I want to heal, PK. I know it's deep inside of me. And he's like, I'll get it. You know, why don't you take a few days off, bring a few of the ladies and go have some fun. And then he goes, Punta Mita. That's where you go. Go there. It's so close by flying. And Dorit's like, it's not far. Just go. Go for a few days. Well, what if I feel anxious? Then you come home. I will say, just even you mentioning it, there's something that feels like, I don't know. It feels like it'll feel nice. Yeah, it's called a vacation. It's usually nice. PK's like, it's good for you, my love. And then we'll just have to agree on what shows I can watch on my own. And Dorit goes, nothing. And PK goes, I've got to be able to watch some of my shows, some of me shows. And Dorit's like, every show that you and I watch together, you're not allowed to watch without me. And PK goes, so only new shows. He goes, I want to watch that Squid Game, honey. And Dorit's like, why don't you watch things you know I won't like? And he's like, okay. And then she was like, why are you the best husband in the world? And PK goes, Operation Punta Mita. Also, I don't think Dorit would like Squid Game. I think PK's okay on watching. I think PK could watch Squid. Can I watch hardcore porn? Can I watch little babysitter porn, please? Oh no, you don't look babysitter porn. Can I watch babysitter porn? So we cut to Sutton and her assistant walking up to Sutton's boutique. And she goes, I'm going to steal some of my earrings to wear tonight. I'll say. And I love that. You know what I love about Sutton's store the most is that, you know, it's not there for profit. Like it feels like there's no possible way Sutton's store it's like Erica's singing career. You know, it's never gotten a profit. You know, it's never been in the black, you know, or whatever. The red, I don't even know. But you know what I'm saying? Never made money. And I like that she's okay with it. I like that she's like, I encourage people to steal. I want to steal some earrings. I'll sell. This is good stuff. She gets in the store And this is, you know, the big Parisian in LA. And she enters and she goes, bonsoir. And the French guy's there. He's like, hey, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, I gotta get dressed. I'll say. And we meet the couture designer, Alexis Mabille. And she's like, the border's open. And he was able to get into the USA, bringing couture to LA. Just like Old Navy did at one point to America. And we get a flashback to Sutton once again saying, well, sorry, I didn't get held at gunpoint. I've been putting fires out all day. My Parisian can't get into America. And Sutton's like, yeah, how fun to have Couture come to LA. Couture. And she comes out in this red dress that they put up a price for $17,000. Do you know how many seasons of Old Navy clothes that is? That's like 17 seasons. Like that is like, I could legitimately, I'll probably only live for like a couple more years. I could legitimately, $17,000 would be almost too much. I could dress myself in Old Navy for the rest of my life with $17,000. And so it goes, it's real cold in here. The thumb is real cold, which I was like, are you nipping out? What's going on? And Sutton compliments everyone. She's like, oh, you know, this is just great. It's real nice. She's like, but we gotta, you know, I gotta pay attention to the food, the bar, the guest list. You know, we got to look at the mannequins, and we cut to Sutton playing with the mannequins. She's like, I'm very nervous. I'm nervous. I'll say. Then we do a scene break over to Diana's house, and she's getting ready for Sutton's event. And Leah, her assistant of 15 years, claims that Diana's never been to a store. And Diana's like, no, I have not. Never been to a store. I'm allergic to dust. And stores are very dusty from what I hear. And the chemicals, it makes my eyes pop out. And she goes, I shop at home and designers know my style, my taste, my size. And the producer and talking, goes, well, that sounds very convenient. And she's like, it is. And the assistant Leah is like, it's no joke. She really is allergic to dust, which I was like, we got to get you to an Old Navy. Me and you and an Old Navy, you would love it. We get to a next scene. Dorit and Kyle are driving to Sutton's event, and Dorit is telling Kyle that she spoke to Rinna and that she's obviously in shock because Lois, her mom, had a stroke. And Lisa was going back up to Medford to be with her mom and asked for the ladies to keep Lois in her prayers through a text message. Lisa had a very frank conversation with the doctors, and we had a flashback to 3 hours earlier where it is said that they are putting Lois in hospice, and the doctor said it's all about making Lois comfortable. And she's being put in hospice, and she has strong directives not to give her a feeding tube and not to resuscitate. And, you know, I know we turn in this plot a lot. We go from really silly and really stupid, but, you know, this is something that is just this awful. I remember I've talked about him before, but my uncle who died in Glendale, California, probably about 6 years ago now, and he died of brain cancer. And I remember when hospice, you know, like when he, you know, it was like, well, this isn't, you know, now it's about making him comfortable. And we brought him back to his house, and, you know, my dad came up to stay with him. You know, he has a wife and all that stuff too. And I've told this story many times of just like sitting in the room with him while he would just be in his hospital bed and listening to music and stuff. And then I remember I had to go to work, and then I came back the next week, and he had like, you know, it just looked like he aged 30 years. And these beautiful people, these hospice workers, like, what a job, these people are just angels. I can't imagine being strong enough to do that. And they would be like, Dale, we got to move you, Dale. Like, and you know, they're very forceful and just saying, and he was so, I'm sure, out of it on drugs. And I just always, don't you just wonder about that stuff? Don't you? Like, don't you just wonder what your cognition is, or you're just in and out? And, you know, it's one of those things I always talk about it. I'm not comfortable talking about it, but I like to talk about it as much as possible because it's something that scares me. I think it scares a lot of us because it's like the one thing, right, that we all know is going to happen to all of us. I hate to be dark. I know this might not, it's the weekend, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, we're friends. I can talk about this stuff, and I would listen to you guys talk about this stuff, but we all know that, no, like, it's not like 30% of us live forever, you know, like we all know. And I just always think about those moments, you know. And that's why my heart really does go out to Rinna and Lois and all of her family with this, because it just really, you know, Lois seems like a great lady. And just when you're at the end there and the people, you know, Wow. So, anyways, Kyle, sorry, you guys, we switch it up here. Kyle shares with Dorit this story about Kyle's mom, and Kyle's mom didn't want to be in hospice, so she wanted to be at home. And Kyle and Kim took care of her. They did everything for her, including bathing. And their mother wasn't communicating at the time. So they were like, Kim and Kyle were fighting over bathing her. And even the mom was laughing, even though she couldn't communicate. And she was like, but I wouldn't have changed it for the world. I wanted to be there for her last breath. And this shit just breaks me. It's like when animals get hurt for me, when I think about a dog passing away or something, like it just breaks me. Like I just, even this thought, like that's why I gotta, with these shows, you guys, we can go hard and I can go hard on these people and all that stuff. But when it comes to this stuff, when it comes to death, when it comes to that, it's like an immediate, like, yo, like we might not see eye to eye, and I might not see eye to eye on how you live or how, and I'm sure they don't see eye to eye on how I live, but this stuff, it bonds us all. We've all been through something like this, and if we haven't, we will. And these are the kind of the moments where you got to put shit aside and say, yo, that sucks, no matter how you cut it. So Kyle in a talking head, of course, cries, and she's like, I know exactly where Rinna is. So Kyle gets a notification on her phone in the car with Kyle, and she's like, what's this? And she's like, oh, the paparazzi's taking photos over my gate. And Dorit's like, who's taking pictures? She's like, yeah, there's a man taking pictures over my fence. And Dorit's like, okay, that's really triggering. And Kyle's like, oh, I know, I'm sorry. Let's assume it was paparazzi and nothing else. And Dorit's like, just made me think it was someone casing your house. And she starts breathing really heavy, which is just like, damn, like I like, we'll see where this goes, but I really am starting to get to the point where like maybe Dorit should have taken the first part of the season off, because I feel like it's almost unfair to the other cast members, and it's unfair to Dorit, because now I'm reading comments of like, oh my God, get over it already. And like, this shit, you probably don't get over if it really happened immediately. And you probably do weird things that we don't really potentially understand that makes you kind of look goofy. And at Sutton's event, guests are arriving. News agencies are gathering around the event. Garcelle arrives. Diana and Crystal arrive. Sutton's doing press on the red carpet. I see Bryce Sanders from Entertainment Tonight. By the way, the Zen Blonde was there. You guys know Zen Blonde, and she's awesome. She was there at that event. Diana, like I said, comes in with Crystal. Garcelle asks Sutton, well, who's coming? All the girls tonight? And Sutton's like, who you asking? Who you really asking me about? And the Parisian designer's right next. He's like, hee. Like, how does the Parisian designer know all the ins and outs of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills cast? That's weird. And Garcelle's like, no, and I was just asking. And we cut to Erica's tiny little pool house, where it's like they keep doing that shot in the back where it's like all of a sudden I'm like, wait a sec, did we cut to commercial? Is this like a Simply Safe commercial of like, you've got to be armed at all times? Like, are you on the bad side of town? So we're at Erica's pool house, and she's just hanging with Mikey and her assistant Leia and her dog Tiago, who's awesome. Tiago has always been a stand-up dog, I'll just say it. And Erica goes,
Oh my God, I just figured out this thermostat a year later.
and Mikey goes, it's a little tricky. It's not like mine at home. And Erica says,
It was 62 degrees in this house the other morning. I was in sweats, Taco Bell wrappers all over me, sleeping under the cover with the dog.
and Mikey goes, how was your day? And Erica, by the way, is kind of like in loungewear, but I've never seen her more makeup on her face. Like it's like paint me like one of your French ladies, Jack. It is like fully made up.
And Erica goes, It was a good day. I had a 2-hour Muay Thai lesson this morning. And Sutton is having her store designer from Paris there tonight, and I'm not going. The invitation was sent in a group text, and everybody's going around kissing each other's ass and apologizing for everything. And I said, Where's my apology? And she's like, I'm not giving you one. I said, and I was just like, I think I said, fuck you.
Erica's typical run-on sentence, and we get a flashback of that where, like, where's my apology? You're not getting one. Why not? Because I don't like you. Oh, and she goes,
Good. It's a mutual thing. Yeah, well, go fuck yourself.
Erica in a talking head goes,
I can't make it, son. I got a date with a vibrator. Can you, I mean, they just Era just going at herself with a big Hitachi. Poor Mikey's like, can I leave the room? Like, this is weird. Tiago's like, let me out. I was like, no, wrong. 62 degrees. Let's get into 69. Erica goes, listen, to be honest, I'm just so glad I'm not getting dressed up tonight. I don't have to put on anything. I don't have to slap on a fake smile and pretend to be nice. You know what? No, I do want to point out once again, she did slap on like 30 pounds of makeup. So it's like, wait a sec. The clothes, I feel like would have been the easy part. You still went ahead with full glam. That takes time. The assistant Leia says, yeah, you just lay down with the dog, which I'm like, is Leia, like, how's Leia getting paid? Like, and Mikey goes, love it. And Erica goes, love it. And Tiago's like, fuck, I was counting on you leaving. Like, okay. Back at Sutton's greeting all her guests. The ladies are meeting the French designer. Garcelle says to Diana, oh, good. Another person who's early. We cut to Sutton and Crystal greeting each other. And Sutton's like, you look cute. I'll say. And she's wearing these leather. And she's like, I wore it for you, Sutton. And we get a flashback of that infamous scene in the back of Lisa Rinna's house of like, jealous of what? I'll say, your ugly leather pants. Which is just so iconic. And we just had so many great moments last season. And Sutton says, I gotta tell you, his taste is amazing. This is Zana. His apartment is so beautiful in Paris. And he goes, if I was not a clothing designer, I would be an interior designer. Diana states that Giorgio Armani designed my home in London once, and also by Fendi. And they're talking to the producer, goes, how much does it cost to have Giorgio Armani do your home? And she goes, a lot. My previous house in London was done by Fendi. Oh, I already said that. So Kyle, Kyle and Doreen are still in the car. She's like, I'm having terrible anxiety. Maybe don't leave my side for a minute, Kyle. Do not. And Kyle's like, I'm afraid my boobs are falling out of this outfit. If they do, just enjoy it. I was like, I'll enjoy it, Kyle. She goes, then Dorit goes, oh, honey, why is there press here? That's not cool. I can't talk about what I went through. Only with my close friends and family. How can a friend not think about that? Are you that self-absorbed? She says. And Dorit, like, listen, Toots, I get it. Like, obviously, you've gone through. I do want to point out, at the last episode at the Kyle by Shahida event, you did a 10-minute interview with Freddie Mellencamp. I always get the names. Freddie Mellencamp for Extra TV, a national television show. Secondly, this isn't a birthday party for you. This is a party for the Paris that is in Lily, LA, and it's promotion for Southern Source. So you kind of need to assume that this would have that Sutton wants people to know about it. It wasn't like, I'll say, I'm thinking about getting this Paris guy down here to impress Dorit. I think she needs it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, obviously the producers kind of left that in because it's like, well, you are coming off as the self-absorbed one. And Dorit complains it's self-absorbed, like all that. It just, I don't know. Dorit goes inside and Kyle stays for the pictures and answers questions about Dorit to the press, saying like she's unbelievably strong. The aftermath has not been easy. And Dorit's like, hello to Sutton and the designer. And Sutton goes, he finally got out of Europe, I'll say. And Dorit kind of just gives a look like, Everyone's mulling around the boutique, and Kyle prods Sutton about the infamous French designer. And she's like, is this the guy? Is this the guy who was held at the border? Does he even know all the drama surrounding him? And Sutton's like, Parisian, this is Kyle, this is Dorit. Dorit has her own line. She does. And Sutton acts like she's like doing a drawing. And Kyle goes, I have my own line too. And there's actually pieces in the store. And, Sutton's like, that's more Shahida than you. She didn't say that. But so we get shots of the store, people shopping, milling about. Kyle asks Sutton, is everything okay with Crystal? And Sutton goes, yep. And Kyle goes, well, the reason I'm asking, which by the way,
Kyle, this is like classic Kyle shit stirring. Well, the reason I'm asking, even though you said yeah, the reason I'm going to keep this going is that at um at my house in La Quinta, there was a conversation that you weren't there where we were talking about Sutton and Tahoe, and Crystal said it was so dark what you said. And Sutton's like, I don't remember that. It didn't happen. And Sutton gives Kyle a look like, huh? In a talking head, Sutton goes, I don't know what she said. It was so dark. No, sorry. That's Kyle. Kyle goes, I don't know what Sutton said that was so dark. Either Crystal is confused or I'm confused. And my money's on Crystal. So Kyle flat out is saying Crystal's a big fat liar here. And Sutton's like, well, I wouldn't say anything horrible, which by the way, she actually would say, Sutton, I love you to death, but you've said horrible things. And Kyle goes, I know. That's what I'm saying. Kyle, that's also a fallacy, a lie too, because you heard her say horrible things. So he goes, I don't know why we're going backwards. I don't want to relive that. I don't want to rehash that. When you go through something like Crystal and I did and grow out of it, you grow better. I'll say, you let that, and she goes, then let that tree stand tall. Don't try to cut that tree down. I love the tree. And now you gotta let those roots go deep into the soil. You gotta get some miracle grow. You gotta go. I said Home Depot. You gotta say, hey, which aisle is that miracle grow? Which aisle is that miracle grow on? Aisle 7. Okay, I say, and then you go and you get that miracle grow, and you take it to a counter and you say, you got any coupons for miracle grow? I say, and you buy it, and then you come back. I say, and you give it to your gardener to put the miracle grow around the tree so it can grow strong, grow more roots. And we call that the Sutton and Crystal tree. It's a wisdom tree, if you will. It's a tree. And then I'll take out the gardener, like also mow the lawn. The lawn represents a lot too, I say. And also I have a pool man. The pool man is gonna come over and I'll say, get the leaves out of the pool. Now the leaves have nothing to do with me and Crystal. I need it clean. I need a clean pool because it is summertime. We gotta swim. We're gonna have the freezing over, the like. Also, I got a housekeeper. I say, and I'm like, you got clean. And it's like sometimes I'm like, are you stealing stuff from me? And I'm like, very, I've got video cameras in my room. I was like, wait, what was I talking about? Was I saying something about a tree? So Sutton also says, I'm remaining calm because I know I didn't say anything I'm to be ashamed of or anything dark. She hits the word dark and she's like, then she like pauses in the talking head to think about what she just said. And Sutton goes, we're good. And Kyle goes, we're good. And Garcelle walks up. Kyle to Garcelle goes, we're talking about the discussion in La Quinta. And Garcelle goes, real quick, I just feel like what she alluded to made me feel like it was something that you said that would change our dynamic if you had said, because you said something crazy. And then Garcelle goes, watch your back with your new friend. That's all I'm saying. Garcelle on a talking head says, friendship is supposed to be about trust. And the minute Crystal felt cornered, she threw Sutton under the bus. So I don't know how this friendship will work. Sutton goes, I don't want to go backwards. And Kyle's like, don't let her talk about the tree. Wait, Garcelle, can I tell you about the Sutton and the the sun? Can I tell you about Sutton Crystal tree? It's a beautiful tree. Can I tell you who works on the tree? Hey, you Garcelle goes, even if there is something that was said that could not be great for you. And Sutton goes, let's just move forward. Let's work together, because that's sisterhood. We got a sisterhood of traveling pants. I put those pants on and then I gave those pants, the sisterhood pants to Crystal, and Crystal all fits in, not those ugly leather pants, the sisterhood pants. And those sisterhood pants go over to rent. No, they go to Erica, but we'll make sure somebody's with just to watch the pants, like a guard for the pants. We don't want Erica selling those on no Depop. I say, we got to keep those sisterhood pants. And she goes, I want all of us to be positive. Kyle and I talking head says, I'm confused. The Sutton I knew a year ago was so sensitive and emotional about everything. And we get all those scenes from last season where she's like rolling those. She goes, I need the roller, the purple roller on my face. I'm so upset. And Sutton really is a live wire. She's amazing. And Kyle goes, I don't know if Sutton took some happy pills tonight because there is nothing here. There's zero emotions, completely numb. And also, Kyle, it could be that it's the night of her event. She doesn't want to act like a damn fool in front of the Parisian that she's obviously in love with. Sutton goes, can you all stop talking about me behind my back? And Garcelle goes, I'd love that. And Kyle goes, Sutton, your dress is on backwards. She's making a joke. And Sutton goes, it's very pretty. His dress is couture. And we see these little Sutton drink stirs with Sutton's store logo on it, which I was like, damn, I wish I had a Sutton drink stir. Like that's when I see that shit, it's like a shiny object for me. I'm like, ooh, Sutton drink stir. Need that. So Diana, by the way, I'm watching her because I'm just like, is this too dusty for Diana? We never got her like reaction of like, oh, so this is a store. It's very, I see, it's very nice. I like this store. It would be funny though if it was too dusty and her eyes did pop out. Kyle complains that her bra is falling off to Garcelle. And don't these, I listen, I've never seen a bra in my life, but doesn't the bras, the ones from the movies, they have straps. Maybe there's like a strapless bra, a braless strap, a strap. You know, okay. So Kyle goes, I get that Sutton doesn't want to go back there, but you can't just say something was so awful by putting that out there, by leaving it open for people to guess and assume. People will assume the worst, which is totally true. Crystal goes, hey, what's going on? And Kyle goes, well, we're actually talking about La Quinta and that conversation that was going on. Here's what I want to say. In that conversation, Garcelle had feelings, and instead of just defending yourself, you just brought up Sutton, that she said something so dark and horrible. And Kyle's like, I was there. She didn't say anything horrific. And Crystal goes, here's the thing. You don't remember it, and that's fine. And Kyle goes, quit telling me that, Crystal. I don't like that. I do remember. It was almost like, fuck you, Camille. And Crystal goes, it probably doesn't affect you. In fact, I'm sure it doesn't affect you the way it could affect me or probably Garcelle. Okay, so now we're like, ooh, you were Garcelle. And Garcelle goes, so you got to tell me what she said. And Crystal goes, no. And Garcelle goes, because right now in my mind, I'm thinking the worst. Garcelle in a talking head says, here we go again with Crystal's word choice. Dark is a very dangerous word because it could be something that would make me question my friendship with Sutton and where Sutton stands when it comes to race. Totally true. Crystal goes, okay, I'm going to be really clear. If we continue this conversation, I don't want to be told the word dark is too much. And then we're going to focus on that word. And Garcelle says, then don't say dark. Just say what she said. And Crystal goes, she said something problematic. Okay. Once again, unspecific. It's obviously something that was unforgivable. And Garcelle goes, is it forgivable? But why did you bring it up? And Kyle goes, that's why we're here. And Crystal goes, because the question you asked me is very damaging. Crystal in a talking head says, Garcelle accusing me of setting up Sutton is a massive accusation. If someone is accused of murder, would a simple no, I didn't suffice? Likely not. You're either going to say no, I didn't, or no, I didn't, and say, here's my alibi. That's all I had. Garcelle beckons Sutton over to the conversation. Please come over, come over. Sutton says, sorry for interrupting. And Kyle goes, it involves you and you should be here. And Sutton goes, good, because normally I'm not around when it happens about me. Garcelle goes, when Crystal brought up her feelings, we were all talking. And I said to her, if I can be completely honest, I felt you were setting Sutton up. And Crystal goes, and I said the conversation was not prefaced that way. And Kyle goes, and you said it was very dark. Sutton goes, listen, we've already done this. And I have apologized, and I've learned a lot. I learned so much, I say, and I changed a lot. I don't know exactly what was said exactly. I just want, and I truly mean this, I cannot take it unless we just go forward. I can't. I cannot take it. And Kyle goes, well, that sounds nice. I think you're thinking it's worse than it was. That's why you don't want to address it. Kyle in a talking head says, I think Sutton's so afraid that she said something that she doesn't remember, that she just wants this topic dropped. But I was there. I heard everything. That's not how it happened. Dorit goes, can I just say something? My take on it is you defending yourself opened up a can of worms, but defend yourself without saying something that you're not prepared to say. Krista goes, it would have never been enough, Dorit. And Dorit goes, but it's still not enough because you're not prepared to share. And Krista goes, well, then that's enough for me. Dorit and a talking head goes, Crystal knows what she's doing. Beep, boop, bop, boop, boop, boop. You're creating the worst case scenario. Then to add insult to injury, you're not saying what it is. That's plain dirty. It's low. Sutton goes, huh, this thing is a can of worms that she opened. They are expired. These worms are dead. And Diana's like, who's dead? The worms? And Kyle's like, the worms are dead, Diana. And Diana's like, you see, this is why it's hard to follow. Suddenly all I hear is the worms are dead. And Garcelle goes, that's hilarious, Diana. And Crystal goes, I'm going to be clear about this. My husband directed The Lion King. No, she goes, I'm going to be clear about this. I get a question, I have to answer, I defend myself. That's it. And Garcelle says, okay, then why did you say use the word dark then? And Krista goes, we talked about this, Garcelle. Do not keep telling me what words to use. And she's shaking a finger at Garcelle. Crystal in the talking head says, how is dark a strong word? It's one syllable, 4 letters, it's only one vowel. I mean, that's a pretty simple word to me. And Crystal goes, what do you need? And Garcelle says, I'm not looking for anything. You are the one that planted the seed, but now you two are great. So that's fantastic. What about everyone else you're leaving in the rubble? Crystal goes, I never wanted to bring this up ever because she and I resolved it and it's resolved. And like, how is it resolved if you bring it up? The part is confusing to me. Garcelle on a talking head goes, here goes Crystal again with a new word and it's not resolved at all. Crystal goes, if someone's going to question my integrity, that's where I'm going to stop because I know where I stand at all times. And Garcelle goes, okay. So to put a pin in this until next episode, when I'm sure it's brought up again, is that I do believe Sutton Price said more stupid shit. I do. I feel like I don't necessarily understand why Crystal brought it up in that moment. Maybe she did feel backed into a corner, but I don't know why she said it. And here's the deal. I said this on Kendrick's pod today. In normal life, you don't have to say what Sutton said, right? Like you sweep it under the rug, but you're on a reality show where you're paid to say the shit that's hard to say. And you can't throw it out there and then all of a sudden take it back. You can't throw it out there and go, you know what, but I can't say. Like the show doesn't work that way. And this is just like, I just want, like, because I like Crystal a lot, but I got to let her know, like, this is the show, unfortunately, works when you're honest or when you make bold accusations that have information. You can't just put, just the unspecific hearsay that we don't know any, So we get a new scene, the last scene with Dorit in her therapy session, which is a wild last scene to end on. And she's like, Bubblish, I have my EMDR session today. And PK's like, it don't bring up a lot, but you're going to have to work through it. And Dorit's like, it's definitely bringing up something different inside me. And PK's like, when I was talking to Boy George last night, he made a really valuable point. He said, PK, I need more money. Please do your job. No, he said, PK, those robbers have taken your belongings. They've invaded and violated your home. Don't let them take your business and your life. Get on with it. And Dorit in the talking head says, they took away so many of my things, but they also took away so much more. They've taken away they've taken away my ability to feel safe, to feel whole. And then she's like, she's coming any second. Will you take your dirty breakfast plate to the kitchen? He's like, yeah, my love. All right, all right. And in a talking head, there's a dual talking head with Dorit and PK. And she's like, knowing I have someone like PK who is strong and capable, that means a lot. And he's like, I'm not going anywhere. And she's like, promise? He's like, oh, swear. She's like, good. So we go to, she's like, hello, Val, her therapist. And she's like, I'm just going to get my little setup going over here. And Dorit goes, I went to my friend's store last night and it jarred me, in a way. It was weird. I said, Dorit, you've done this before. Why is this really affecting you? And we get explained that EMDR is a type of therapy that is good for a trauma victim. And the therapist is like, well, Dorit, from what you told me, your home has turned into your cocoon and you're safe when you're here. But when you get out, you're activated. This part confused me a little bit because I would think that the home would not be safe since the home is where all of this shit went down. So I would almost think she'd want to be away from the home, but, at the end of the day, it's home. She spends more time here. So, also, I wrote so Dorit is like holding onto these two objects, and it reminded me a lot of the E-meter in Scientology. I was like, is EMDR the E-meter? You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like the two cans you hold in Scientology that we've read and heard and seen all about. I was like, is EMDR the practice they use in Scientology? So they're like, you have these things in your hand. There's a frequency, right brain, left brain activity, similarly to sleep processing during the day. And we separate it by frames. And she's asking, like, okay, so there's the frame on the ground, the gun is to your head, and you're saying you're not safe. Now, these emotions that come right up in your body, where do you feel them? And Dorit's like, my chest. And she's like, allow your mind to go. She's like, I'm not safe. I'm thinking about my kids. And the therapist like, go with it. And she's crying. Like, Dorit is like full on Emmy right now. Like, and they're like, just let whatever comes up, comes up. She's like, I want to be in Capri, the Capri room. No, she's like, oh God, I can't shake this feeling. I can't, she's like, I'm just so scared, so worried, so afraid, so sad. And she's like, you're safe right here, right now. And she's like, when I close my eyes, I can see the headline, mother found dead in bedroom, kids shot dead in their beds. That's a really long headline, but that's what she sees. And it's like horrifying. And she's like, oh my God, this thought is going to haunt me for the rest of my life. And the therapist is like, take a moment, take a breath. And she's like, it's just right now, I feel very far from where I need to be. I feel like I have a lot of work to do. And that's the end of the episode. I do want to read you a DM I got about this, actually, from a listener. And she wrote a lot of nice stuff, and which I'm not going to read to you. But then she wrote, now on to the business at hand. Dorit is lying. As a mother, I always arm my house security when my children are home after the sun goes down. When my husband is out of town, I arm my house and sleep next to the gun in my house. Wow. In all the security systems I saw when I was picking one of my house for my house, that they all had the ability to arm outside while leaving the inside disarmed. I'm sure folks have already told you this, she said. Yeah, folks have actually told me that part. But the key thing here are the gun piece and the comforter. Any victim of a trauma will tell you this. As someone who has had a weapon pretty close to their face, you don't forget that shit. The cops don't forget that shit, and they don't leave it out of the report. It changes the potential charges too. If that happened to me, it would be the first thing I tell the officers when they arrive. And as a person who has been burglarized once, burglars want to get in and out. They don't want to have conversations. They don't want to get caught by a silent trigger, which means the alarm. They don't want to carry something so obvious like a large comforter through the streets. This was an inside job. No gun, nothing. Thanks for listening. Now, like I've said, I have believed Dorit's story this whole way through. She makes really good points there. I wanted to read that because I thought that was important. I'm trying to get my hands on the police report. I don't know if you guys can help me with that, because I am now curious about the gun, because the gun is being used in certain examples. Kyle said it, Dorit said it, but was there a gun? It sounds like there wasn't one in the police report, and it sounds like that would be in the police report. The comforter thing, yeah, that is weird to drag a comforter through things. Maybe I don't know, like that really, I don't know. It's all so confusing, but I don't know. I don't know. So anyways, next time we have Crystal and Kyle having an argument. We have Sutton to Garcelle talking. We have Dorit telling Erica about, a free plane ride. They take a trip next week, and Sutton yelling, I did nothing wrong. And Rena goes, you're dangling a dangerous carrot. And Crystal going, I didn't bring it up. And Sutton goes, yes, you did. So I guess that tree is being chopped down, which I think they're good now, but what a wild episode, and what another 2.5 hour episode. I hate apologizing this, but I'm almost apologizing myself because I got a life to lead, kind of, or I'm trying to lead a life at some point. But we had a lot of stuff to do. We went through that whole situation earlier with the PR marketing wizard, Patrick, and the account your moms are watching. If you're still listening, your moms are watching. It was really nice to talk to you on the live, and I'm glad I got to talk to you. And it did look like you got a lot of followers, so hopefully you can keep them and all that stuff. I get, like, all that shit is exciting. It really is. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. So I just want to make sure we don't push false information, like I just feel like there's enough outlandish things out there that I want to make sure. And like I said, I participated in that myself. And I believe me, I'm not like, I just want to make sure this isn't talking down. These are all just my personal opinions and what I've noticed the last couple of years of doing this day in, day out. So that's it, you guys. We're at the weekend. Have the best fucking weekend ever. Will you do me a favor and do that for me? Like, really have a great time. Do it up, whoop it up, as Vicky Gumbelson says. I love you guys. Thank you so much for all of the support. It has been a rough week for me personally. I put this at the end because most of you guys won't be listening at this point. It has been a rough week for me, and I'm really glad to finish this podcast and be done for a day or two. But I will talk to you guys bright and early on Monday. I'll be releasing a couple of Patreon episodes tomorrow if you need more stuff, but I can't imagine how you would. And hopefully this will be up on YouTube. I'm going to send the file over to Maritza. I love you guys. I'll talk to you on Monday.